It is. It has been a journey, and as the précis to my question, I just like to set it up. So I heard it described as a long-standing policies, and over many years. It's been 20 years since the first CACs were experimented with, and 15 years, really, since Larry Campbell was mayor, that these policies started to develop, and they have accelerated. So my question then is: are you not concerned about the growing dependence on CACs in terms of the financing of city community amenities, but capital projects? Again, it didn't exist 20 years ago, and now it's as you've said before, we have a pipeline of development that is supporting this, and this is a real concern in light of the UDI letter. What happens when we're in the down market? So are you not concerned? Again, it's the balance between promoting and managing. There was a thing in there about not wanting to deter development, but are we in fact incentivized to promote development to keep up the level of CACs?
Well, that could be one reading of it. I guess where the backstop is really in your approval of four-year capital plans, and those have to match expected revenue. So, for example, in the current four-year plan, we know there's enough CAC in the pipeline to fund that. You will have an opportunity as this council to look at the next four-year capital plan, and we'll be providing estimates at that time. We don't go looking for development or increasing development just to help the capital budget. I mean, there's a relationship between growth need and what goes into the capital plan. But honestly, growth never pays 100% of what's demanded. The CACs help quite a bit. It would be a losing proposition if we were just trying to maximize CACs for the sake of putting money into the capital plan, because I don't think we'd ever catch up. And so part of the exercise through the Vancouver plan is to not only look at your question as framed, but also, are there other ways to help offset the cost of growth?
So my concern number one, dependence, we've gone through that. Building on that, do you think that this increasing dependence on developer contributions has increased the market to the extent that it is contributing to the lack of affordability? So if the costs are going up for the developers, the cost and the volume of production is going up, the volume of units that are being produced, it seems a reasonable conclusion that there is going to be economic liftoff of that is going to contribute to the lack of affordability in the city.
Well, again, we have a number of housing proposals, and increasingly number in the rental category, that don't generate much in CAC, and so we're not counting on that there. And we've found through studying this repeatedly, and used Coriolis for this, that the land value lift can afford the public contribution that helps create that value. And so the prices, I'm talking now primarily about strata residential, the prices of that residential are not determined by the value of the CAC. They're determined by what value can be accommodated on a market price basis. So the CAC, while it is a true cost in the pro forma, does not necessarily push up the price of the house, because the market is setting those. As the market declines or pauses, we will see that reflected in the negotiated CACs.
I'd be very interested in going through more of a detailed examination around that, because there are, again, when I looked at the CMHC numbers from 2016 and the building starts, you can see how the ripple through effect would come from large numbers of developments.
Yeah, I would say another break in the system is that if a negotiated CAC agreed to between us and you and the developer, turns out not to be feasible because there's been a drop in the market, they don't proceed with the development. They pause and they hold it. So it's not as if, in other words, a point at which it wouldn't be reasonable to move ahead with construction. They would pause. So I don't know if that ripple effect is actually showing the CACs as a cause for housing price increases.
But we are seeing hills and valleys as well, and so I'm just concerned about the impact overall.
Question?
Okay.
Okay, we're not going to end with any more statements.
Happy to follow up with him.
Thank you.